this meeting of the Acton Recreation Department to order, and we'll start with saluting the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Who keeps banging? All right, so everyone has a copy of the agenda. Tom, if you want to have a look at the agenda, we've got extras.
It's pretty basic tonight, thank goodness.
So our next topic is the treasurer's report.
Do we need to do last week's minutes?
I left that off because I didn't get a chance to print them out. Did you guys look at them in your email?
I did not get one again.
What is going on?
I got everything else, but I did not get that.
All right.
We can put it on.
I didn't get any email.
I know.
The next agenda to approve them. But we'll start with the treasurer's report. Did you get a chance to get anything from Michelle?
For the amount of
Registration money?
registrations, no, I didn't, because I knew there were quite a few that were coming in this week. So
Yeah,
I
it
figured
wouldn't
I'd
have been
wait till next
accurate.
week. But all we got was the $34, which was from Tremblay's photo. So we're at $21,483.
So next is field cleanup, and that topic is there. We have soccer getting ready to start pretty soon, and the field is in
disgrace.
need of attention. We are gonna have to either schedule a day that we can all go down there and get as many volunteers as we can, or just go there ourselves and clean it, but there's quite a bit of work that needs to be done.
What exactly needs to be done? What is it that, I mean,
So, I was just up there the other day changing out locks, and all of the hay bales from the
yeah, whatever happened with that?
ice skating rink are still there.
Did Carol get?
Yeah, so he was sick and he's been in the hospital and he's back out and back to work this week.
Okay.
So he's supposed to be getting up there to get the hay.
Did he say he would?
We'll do the hay bales.
The hay bales in place of
haul them
the-
off and then take the broken
And he's
bleachers.
gonna do that this week?
This week or next,
Okay,
because he wasn't sure because he's behind.
so by next week.
But he is definitely going to do it.
Definitely.
He's definitely
And that was the
interested in
broken
trying to
bleachers too?
do it.
Yeah, so he's gonna get rid of the hay bales in exchange for those broken bleachers.
Okay. Out behind our equipment shed, there's quite a bit of all messed up, half-broken, old soccer nets that need to be dealt with.
Okay, so-
Whether it's, taking the frames and getting new nets and using them, or just having them hauled away, but they've been there for a good long while. and
Is that
they need
in the
to go.
field or is it in the woods?
So
line?
it's technically on the field, but it's behind the shed. It just looks terrible.
So, James is meeting me at the field tomorrow night, and anybody else is welcome to come. We're going to look at nets, and we're going to look at the field, and just kind of the layout for soccer. He was gonna help me with that, and try to figure out which nets we're gonna use. We had put in the budget one new set of nets. I'm not sure if we need them, so that was the biggest
Did
reason.
we put for the little kids nets or did we put the
It was,
big
no,
nets?
I think it was the junior nets. But that kind of, we could look at those goals that are behind the shed at the same time and see
Are
if,
those wooden framed or?
I'm not sure.
I don't
think-
remember when we
think
went up and did.
One set is fiberglass, and the other set might even be PVC pipe frame.
And one
not-
set looks like it's got wood around the front of it.
I don't
I'm not
see
even
it.
sure that
Definitely
they're
old.
two different sets so much as maybe two different nets.
so anyway,
Different size nets.
We'll go look at
Yeah,
them if
they're
we
totally different size, but
Getting
we
rid
did
of 'em.
budget in for new nets last year?
one set.
One set of nets.
Yeah, one set of nets, but I'm questioning if we really need them or not, so, that was,
I don't remember needing them.
so we're gonna meet around 6 tomorrow, if anybody's free, you guys can come.
If we're
But,
back, we will.
The nets that are
We'll
there
stop
are
up.
decided that they need to go. then just somebody let me know, because we'll just trailer them off.
Okay.
Break them down and then bring them to the dump.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, yeah.
We have a big
Just cut
equipment
'em up
trailer and
and-
stuff that, yeah, we'll just drain,
Flying around my
not a
head.
big deal.
Take a Sawzall to them and
Yeah,
throw them on a trailer.
exactly.
So then I would say if the broken bleachers
I was
and the
gonna
hay
do that.
bales
That's good.
and the liner is gonna be taken care of next week,
By the end of next week, yeah.
then we are gonna find out probably tomorrow night what we need to do with those other nets.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, the end of next week, beginning of the week after, maybe we can just go down there and take a peek, make sure it looks good, and just be done with cleanup. We won't even have to do anything.
Right. The only other thing is that there's that old metal barrel that's been there for years, and it's, I mean, it's
The
had,
one that they use for the trash?
well, the trash, it's been full of trash for 2 years. Like, it's never been hauled off, and it's disgusting. So while he's there doing the hay and stuff, I'm gonna try to con him into taking that barrel and just getting rid of it, and it, just doing
whole
more of a
barrel.
carry in, carry out
Just
type
get rid
of
of the whole
thing.
barrel.
Put it next to the hay and,
Well, cause none of us wanna empty that barrel.
no, it's
Probably
nasty.
critters in there.
It's disgusting. And if he won't do it, then I'm gonna burn it.
Okay.
I am. Because I gotta get it empty. It's disgusting.
Okay, so
That should be pleasurable.
that's,
Sorry.
that's the long and the short of field cleanup. So well installation.
So I talked to Streeter yesterday, because I think that we did our due diligence in trying to get other quotes, unless anybody on the committee has an idea of somebody, but I did bump into him yesterday,
You still interested in it?
and he said, I really don't want to do it. And I said, too bad, you're doing it anyway. So he said he
Sure he
would. So he's gonna, I told him I had a meeting tonight, and as long as everybody was all set to move forward with him, that, we needed to get on his schedule as soon as possible.
Can you remind us of
Yeah, what is
his
this?
price quote?
Yeah, his quote was $4,000, and no excavation was included.
Okay.
Now, where is this gonna be?
It's gonna be over by where the shed is, and that way,
Nothing.
I've gotta talk to him, but
Just
we
gonna
need
leave.
water for the ice rink.
Drilling the
You know, so we
just
want it on
pile
that
up
end
next
of the
to it,
field,
probably.
and then also,
Drillings.
you know,
So it's just gonna be a water source?
it is gonna be a water source for now, yes. We have a 5-year plan that I'll get you a copy of.
Okay.
But one of the things on there was water, and then eventually bathrooms or something like that.
Right,
So-
okay.
Okay, so is everyone in agreement that we can move forward with having Streeter and Sons get started on?
What does he mean by no excavation work, though?
He's not gonna dig the trench. That's
we have
for
done
the
that?
line, so that's why his quote is 4,000. If you look at the budget, we budgeted like 7 or 8.
So what is dig
We
the
will-
trench
Drill a well and put a
into?
head in there and pump.
I've talked to Will Langley, and I think he's gonna do it for us. Like, not
Put
charge
the-
us, but to dig the trench and then bury it.
To run a water line wherever we're gonna have.
To want, yeah, but
Our
don't you
garden hose
normally do a
hookup.
well, and then if you're just doing a basic well, have the well there and not have to worry about a trench? I'm kinda confused.
We gotta get water out of the thing
Well-
somehow.
I don't know, Lori, I don't dare answer that, because I don't have the full, I don't wanna say the wrong thing. But my understanding was that, like, you have the well, and then you have your fixture that gives you the water,
pump.
and there's probably a distance between the two. Not that it's 50 feet, but,
Depending, the pump will be in the bottom of the well, so he's gonna drill a well, or pound it, whichever he's gonna do. I assume he's gonna drill it and then put a pump in it. And then you're gonna have to have that
Is the
hooked
pump
to a
included?
source to.
yeah.
Okay.
He said he would do the pump, yeah.
Yeah, the
But
pump's
that has to-
included.
He gets hooked to an outlet or a garden hose or wherever it's gonna be.
Right.
Wherever it's gonna go.
But we'll have to buy some sort of a fixture to get the water out of,
Right.
whatever we decide we want, whether it be whatever, I don't know.
Gotta go to something, and he's saying,
talk-
for that price, he's obviously not gonna do anything more than what he said he would do, which
Right,
is
his
still,
thing, it
still
was
very
very
reasonable.
specific.
Are we talking about trying to put a trench into the snack shack?
No.
No,
Caribou, Maine.
no, that wasn't,
So
we
we
were
just
going to-
want water to be able to,
So the water is getting put in for 2 reasons, because one, we need water access for the ice rink and for, you know, we had talked about doing that Pride Day thing at some
Right.
point and needing a hose of some sort. And the other reason is because eventually down the line, we had talked about putting in bathrooms, and you need water for that.
Any water we need for the concession stand, we'll just, I mean, it would just be what, to make hot cocoa or make coffee or, something pretty minimal.
So the well
We
would
could go
should
fill
be
it.
wherever, closer to wherever the bathrooms would be.
Right,
That's
which
what
is
we
down
need
by
to
the
figure out.
shed.
The back shed, not the snack shed.
Not the snack shack.
Gotcha, okay.
So,
Keep it from freezing, but.
can I have a motion to move forward with Streeter and Sons?
I make a motion to move forward with Streeter and Sons for the well.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, we'll pass that, and you will get in touch with
Yeah.
them? Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I put field maintenance and field cleanup on, I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, maintenance would
Topic
been,
5, field maintenance was one of the ones I asked to have.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I would like that on there is because it's now August and we need to move forward with cleaning the field and dredging that retention pond and cleaning out our ditching. So at least those 3 things I think need to be done this year because that retention pond isn't retaining anything anymore. It's just spilling over. The trees are growing in where there were never supposed to be any brush or anything. It was supposed to be clear cut. They're blocking off the pond and all of the ditching is no longer ditching. It's just being parked on now. So it's doing us no good, and that is also part of the reason we had so much trouble with the parking lot this year.
Yeah, the
and
parking
probably the
lot, I
soccer
think,
field last year.
So
sloped the
is,
wrong direction, so I don't know how you can fix that without grading
but we
it
need to
towards, all the water, none of the water runs towards the ditch around the parking lot, it runs the other
Because
way.
It's not been maintained for the,
So when-
15 years that it's been
If you
put
could
in.
grade that, if you ran a grader across that and tried to
so
put
what do
in,
you think about trying to set up an appointment with, Will Langley to have him go up there and look at it and kind of go over what we want done?
well, someone
Will
knows.
Langley be doing this?
We gotta get the parking lot,
Through the town, or
water's gotta
are we-
run downhill, so
No,
it's
this
gotta
would
go
be,
towards the
this would be
outside.
above and beyond the,
I think
yeah, we'd
so.
have to
I
probably
mean,
pay money
maybe
for
the
somebody.
grading we might be able to get.
Might be able to grade the parking lot, if there's enough material there to grade it down to the side where it's gotta run downhill, now it goes all the other direction, it's pretty well flat. So maybe that someone that does that might be able to walk that, shoot that with a laser and say, you know what, we can pull 2 inches off
I
this
just
thing
had
from
my
here to
driveway
there, and then
done
you got your
by
runoff.
Muse Brothers
The parking lot will drain
Excavation. Not really good.
into the, where it should, as
Super
opposed to
reasonable.
turn into mud.
Yeah, depending on what.
So I think Will Langley is a good place to start, and maybe we can get him to meet us up there and just tell us,
What do you think?
where we need to start. But I'm sure you all know my dad was heavily involved with putting that field in, and I talked with him, and part of the plans were that these things would be done yearly, and they've never been.
Oh, yeah, right.
So,
Well, cleaning the ditch out is one thing, I suppose, but I think the grade on the parking lot's gotta be changed so it doesn't turn into mud. You gotta get the standing water off it, so there should be enough there to run a grader over that, and it wouldn't take a lot, probably. A 2-inch pitch over the course of that parking lot's a lot.
yeah, and the trees.
You're not doing it with a rake.
The trees that are up against the fencing now that
They're
shouldn't
all-
be there.
should've
and
never
that
been there.
pond, I think if DEP ever looked at that pond, we'd really,
In trouble?
Sure, you're right.
so,
I'll see Will on Wednesday, and I'll ask him when is a good time for him to meet us up there, and then I'll let you all know when he
Okay.
can do it.
yep. So that's the 14th. Okay, so is everyone in agreement that we can do that? Just at least start with Will and,
Yeah, I don't know who it is, but if you guys do, I mean, sure, start with somebody.
all right. I feel like those 3 things at least need to be addressed before snow falls.
Pond,
Because it'll just be,
ditches.
it'll just gonna be mud again
What
next
was the
spring, and we're
third
not gonna
thing?
be able to use the
Sorry.
field,
Trees
use the fields
Oh,
again.
the trees.
The
And we had
parking lot,
those
if we can.
rotted trees that we were supposed to remove
Yeah,
too, that we put
there's-
money in the budget for.
A lot of them
Oh, yeah,
are supposed to be.
that's right.
gone.
That was
Remember
some-
that? There was
yeah.
a few, all
Why,
right.
Yeah, I don't remember the details, but I know we talked about it months ago.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we're already in August. It's not
Yeah.
gonna get any warmer. So moving on to topic number 6, soccer update.
Okay, so we're doing all right with registrations. Want to thank Lori because she's really done a lot of legwork reaching out to people and getting them. And I know that the girls at the town hall, every time someone comes in, they're hitting people up. So we have 49 with the ones I got tonight, 49 kids, 15, okay, so to back up, I have games with Lebanon and Wakefield. And I like the way Wakefield splits up their kids, and I kind of think that I would like to see us go in the same way that they do. Well, they don't do kindergarten, so if we did like pre-K and kindergarten together, and then first and second, third and fourth, fifth and sixth. So it's actually adding a level over what we had last year, but I think then we'd be matched up perfectly with Wakefield, in the way that they do their teams. Lebanon's kind of tough, because they just split their kids into 2 groups, and they're 4 grade spans in those groups, and we don't, that's just not how we do things.
No, and I will tell you that it's really rough. My kids played for Lebanon for years. My
Okay.
2 older girls, and I will say, like, up until you start to get older in those 2 groups, it's really hard because the younger ones, they play very minimal, just to get time out onto the thing, and then you have the older kids that have more skill and technique and stuff like that. And I mean, the first couple of years, my middle daughter now, she played probably a total of 10 minutes the whole year.
Yeah.
Because they've done it for a long time that way.
Yeah, and it obviously works for them, but that's just not what we're shooting for.
Right.
We like to have our kids
Oh, yeah.
all have some, put where they should
Oh,
be, so they can
absolutely.
all get an opportunity. So anyway, I have 15 pre-K and kindergarten, 14 first and second graders, 11 third and fourth graders, and 9 fifth and sixth graders. So we're not quite there yet, but we are. I mean, you have 8 kids on a field at a time. So we have enough to field a team.
Yep.
The fifth and sixth, I don't know. I'd like to see a few more, but I'm sure we'll get them too. So that's a good thing. I was wondering John isn't here, but John and Lisa had talked about when she got back from Florida doing the 1 week of skills training, not necessarily a practice, but the
Right.
skills and drills thing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure before I put that out there that was something we still wanted to do. I know last time I talked to him, he was still interested in it.
Yeah, I'll touch base with him.
Do we have a tentative date for soccer to start?
Yes.
Yeah, you have that.
So what we wanted to do, let me just pull up my calendar, is,
From last time.
okay, so, August, you leave on the 15th, you come back on the 25th.
Yep.
So we were thinking the week before Labor Day, the 26th to the 30th.
Yep.
Would be the week that we do the skills and drills week.
Right.
And then practices would start the day after Labor Day, the 3rd.
Okay, so when do we have our first scheduled games with anybody?
The second weekend in September.
So second weekend.
We'd like,
Give them at least 2 weeks of
we want to give them 2
Right.
weeks, but if somebody offers us a game that first week.
Right.
I probably would take it,
Absolutely.
but the goal is the second week in September.
Okay. Now that's the skills and drills that you guys plan on doing? Never mind.
Oh, go
That's a
ahead.
dumb- No, I was actually I don't even know what I was thinking. God, because thinking baseball, but I was like, we're not gonna have that at the school, because like, we have teacher workshops now all that week. So, duh, it's gonna be at the field. Never mind.
Perfect.
It's been a long day.
How are you on coaches?
Okay, so as far as coaches go, I have 2 people for the pre-K kindergarten team, so that's good. There's a new coach, well, they're both new coaches. And then James wants to do 3rd and 4th. So James Kittredge,
Kid.
yeah, Austin.
Austin.
Hinson.
Oh, yeah, Yeah, yep, all you gotta do is tell me the kid. The parents, I don't know, kids, I get it. Oh, okay, perfect.
Carol,
And then I have John, who said he'd coach any level.
6:30 tomorrow.
So,
I'm not sure what time she said, we can ask her after.
All right, you can try to meet at the field tomorrow at 6 or 6:30,
6.
around 6. Sorry.
I was going to reach out to Ken Joy. I just need to get his information from Lisa, because he had said before that he may be willing to coach, and he's phenomenal. So I'd like to put him with the older kids if he is in
Who's
fact.
Ken Joy?
Well, he used to do the rec. He used to be the president of the rec.
Got some interest from some other people for a change
Yeah, he
then.
was the president of the rec for years.
Did he have
When the
kids in
rec
the school?
was- He did, but they are, I think, all in college.
His daughter actually just got married.
Wow.
I believe it was his
Our laws are
daughter.
in and out
Yes.
from before.
Tall guy that had us all girls,
Yeah,
one boy?
I don't know for sure.
Oh, except for one.
Anyway,
But if he is interested in doing 5th and 6th, then I would just have John do the 1st and 2nd group, and then we'd be good, just looking for parent helpers. But if he's not, then I'm short coaches. But that was my hope and prayer.
anything else on soccer?
Well, at least we have some people there.
Nope, I'm gonna talk about uniforms when we get down there.
Okay, we can
We'll
meet
we'll talk about it when we
anybody
get down there. So that's it as far as that goes.
Okay. So now moving on to the concession stand.
Okay, so a couple of things. I was wondering how the committee felt. It wouldn't cost any money, but I've recruited my dad to build me some shelves in there. There are no shelves. There's one set of plastic shelves and they're broken. You know, so like you have to be very careful with them. There's no place to store things. So what ends up being is boxes of stuff on the floor and you're always pawing, looking for stuff. It's very disorganized. So if you guys are okay with it, then he'll build a couple sets of shelves in there for me.
Can he build something that's closed that the mice won't get into?
I don't think so.
You have to build it out of steel to keep the mice out of it.
Or anything like
Well,
that.
where we put money in the budget, that was the other.
Any critters got in there, does anybody know?
The only reason I'm asking.
Wait, guys.
Oh, sorry.
Too much side conversation. So, the closed shelves, I think the idea is to put things that aren't gonna get in, have mice get into them, like maybe paper plates, napkins, stuff like that. And I don't think he would build something closed in.
No.
No. And what were you saying?
She was
I was
asking,
asking about if there was a cooktop or anything in there yet. And then I was just asking, because I had actually seen something this summer and it made me think of the concession stand because I want it. It's actually, they now made this summer one of the small portable griddles. I have a large griddle.
Yeah.
And I go bring it camping and everything with me, but it's such a pain to undo and everything. But I saw a small one and they're actually pretty feasible in price. And like,
Yeah.
if we had something like that inside, I'm just thinking for early morning soccer games, breakfast sandwiches, little things like that.
Yes.
I mean, we could really, that's why I'm gonna be honest, my in-laws love the Lebanon games because they have the outdoor
Yes.
grill and they have a small one inside.
So, last year at budget time.
Yes.
For the concession stand budget, I'm sure we all can remember, we put a lot of money into that budget.
Yes, we did.
And what we're running into is not being able to find anybody to run the concession stand.
Right.
If I'm not a coach, I can do concessions.
Yeah.
For soccer especially. I mean, it's just every sport that my kids are doing, I'm out there with them. You know what I mean? If soccer was something that like, I mean, Austin's dad's already gonna do it for Riley's grade, so I mean, Peter's grade is the only one that we're iffy on, but I mean, I have no problem like doing that. I mean,
Okay.
I have no problem helping out whatsoever. I'm on the field usually.
so I called Central Furniture today, because one of the biggest problems is like in hot weather, the drinks aren't cold. You
Right.
know, it's such a
Yeah.
pain to get ice and stuff. So at the very minimum, what I wanted to get for soccer, and I like that griddle idea a lot, I had planned on a toaster, but we could do a toaster or griddle, the small refrigerator, coffee maker, and a microwave. Those were like the things, because I want to do like coffee, hot chocolate, I like the breakfast sandwich idea, you know, stuff like that.
We also put in for a grill, though. So
We did
don't
put in
really
for an
need a
outdoor
And a
grill.
grill.
Right.
So we probably should
steamer,
decide on a
everything
grill
else.
or a griddle, one or the other.
I think, so, a lot of the stuff that we put in the budget, I don't think we're going to need to buy. I don't, like, there's a cotton candy machine in there. I don't.
And popcorn maker.
I don't think we need that. And the difference between a grill and a griddle is you can't really cook eggs on a grill.
No, griddles are pretty universal.
You can get the electric
Well,
griddles for like
I will-
20 or 30 bucks.
But I will tell you that the brand that I have for a griddle this year as well, they just came out with that it's half grill, like like legit grill, and then there's the half griddle.
Yeah.
The only thing with that is, you know what I mean, that would be, whoever's cooking would be outside versus being inside with the little like small countertop type of one.
So we had put a regular gas grill, like a normal grill for the end of the year parties and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yep. But I mean, you think sausage subs and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I mean, my family, I mean, I have a huge griddle. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. Nobody's allowed to touch it. But, and I put everything, I have steamer covers. It's true, ask Norm, like, he can't touch it, he knows. Like, it's mine. But I mean, I have like, I mean, do sausage stubs and then do like another thing of a cover. Like, you can have the covers, you get them right at Walmart. They're like 10 bucks, large rectangles, and you can do peppers, onions, everything. And then when I bring it camping, I do bacon, sausage, and then a whole thing of scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
Pancakes, flapjacks, you know,
See,
anything
that's
like
the thing for
that.
soccer, is everything is in the morning.
Right.
So breakfast, soccer's more breakfast, basketball will be more dinner stuff.
Yeah.
And that stuff would have to be something that we could be portable with, like a
Right.
hot dog steamer or something like that.
Yep.
So I think, as far as the concession stand topic goes, what we should try to accomplish right now is deciding what exactly we're going to buy. We have the money, we budgeted for it, let's decide right now what we're gonna buy.
Well, the fridge is
The fridge is a must.
a must.
Did you get prices on the fridge?
I'm not comfortable with cubic feet. Like, she was at, and so I was trying to explain what I wanted it for. I think I have to go in person, because she was like, well, we have X number of cubic feet and X number of cubic, and I'm like, I don't know that, that's not
I don't
my.
think we need any bells and whistles, we don't need
No,
a nice maker.
just something to
Right.
keep it
Or
cold.
a
Is there any
fridge. Do
reason
we
you go with
want
Central Furniture?
a lot of freezer space, or do we want,
So
biggest
what we
reason.
were talking about was
So we can go somewhere else.
apartment
No, I was just saying, 'cause I
size.
mean, if you wanted to go somewhere else, I mean, it's easy enough, right?
you don't want a real small one because the freezers do not work in them. You want something that is,
Like, you know, something you would see in your typical camp on the lake.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So you're probably thinking about between a 16 and 18 cubic.
Okay.
You don't want anything, I mean, my house, I have
Why don't we-
a 29 cubic. I have the biggest one you can get
Why don't
right
we
now
just look
besides
at
being the restaurant
price-wise?
one, I mean.
Well, price and size, 'cause there's
Yeah.
only
price
so
and
much room in
size,
there.
right.
Right.
So just look at no more than $300 for a fridge or something like, or $400 for a fridge, and just call it that and see what we can get for that price.
So
Yep.
we'll
You also
move
gotta-
forward on the fridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
We also gotta know too, how wide is that doorway? Because your standard
It's a
fridge.
standard door.
Okay, because I was gonna say your standard fridge size is gonna be right around without the door is 30 inches.
Okay.
I only know this because mine just died.
So we'll move forward on the fridge, and then what else? Do we want to move forward on a coffee maker? I mean. I think
Definitely.
that's
What kind of coffee maker, though?
Something that is reasonably fast, but not expensive.
What are you asking? What was your first question?
Well, does anybody remember what they put in there for a breaker? 15 amp, 20 amp, does anybody, because I don't remember.
I need to look again,
You need
because
to
when
look.
he did the lights, he added outlets for us.
Okay,
And I
but I mean,
don't
if it-
know if he
if
added
there's a-
another breaker.
If there's a 20 amp breaker in there, then you can run, you know, you should be able to run your coffee pot,
We
your
have-
refrigerator and some stuff, but you start plugging everything, I don't remember what's in there, we're gonna have to look.
Standard.
I know that this electric
Is it
service is your
100 amp?
standard
Is that-
100 amp or whatever it is service.
They put a 100 amp service in that?
Yes.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah, and we
Good.
have electricians in the family that we can talk into.
Yeah,
Are we
no,
looking into getting like a small, like, coffee?
I didn't
maker?
realize they
Do you
put a
wanna
100
get
amp
one of those
panel in
ones
there,
like you
so I guess
see
you can
at,
plug
you
in
know,
whatever
like
you
your
want.
normal like buffet or something like that, where you have the
Right.
bigger pot and then it like will be in the percolating system and then,
So, I think that one of those is gonna be really expensive and not in our budget. I think what we budgeted for a coffee maker was probably, do you have?
Yep, I do. One moment, please.
Oh, so I mean,
So maybe you
Coffee
could
pot
just
is
read.
All right,
reasonable.
so
Cheap
we
enough.
had $300 for fridge,
300 for the fridge.
200 for a popcorn machine, 200 for a grill, 130 for the steamer, and then $600 for, we called it supplies. It was for the cotton candy machine or whatever else we decided we wanted. So I will try to get as close to $300 for the fridge, you know, and,
So our total budget for the concession stand was,
$1,430.
We should be able to get what we need for that.
Perfectly.
And then we were really shooting for a couple $100 of sport income to offset that.
so with that $1,430, we're going to purchase a fridge, a coffee maker,
Micro,
a
Coffee.
microwave.
Oh, no, I lost my place.
I mean, that stuff's pretty, microwaves.
Okay.
and
Coffee
either a
maker,
grill or a
microwave.
griddle. We don't need, really, I don't think we need.
I think-
I think we need to figure out what we want for,
Can we just start out with one of the $20 electric griddles and go from there? I mean, what do you think? Like one of the smaller ones? I mean, you can do, we don't know, I can tell you that there were days at the concession stand during baseball that I didn't make $10. Like, I know it's
Oh,
because
yeah.
we didn't have much to offer.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm a little leery.
Oh, no, and I
It's a whole
completely
bunch of
understand.
money
I mean,
and
like
we
I
don't
said,
get
I mean,
anywhere
with
yeah. I mean, we'll know like off of the first year, I mean, substitute soccer, if it's something that's gonna be, you know, a good thing, then maybe, you know what I mean, for like the grill thing, for the outdoors, you could even do the combination.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and then not have to worry, because that's gonna bring in a lot of heat too.
Let's just get the small electric griddle, and then if we do well in the
Yeah.
concession stand, we'll get our outdoor grill
Yep.
for the end of the year party or
Yeah,
something,
that
you
would be
know?
great.
And then we had talked about the hot dog steamer. Is that another one?
Well, that's,
oh, your father's done here, no, we're not
that's-
getting it.
I think that's more for basketball season, though.
right,
For
well,
all seasons.
You think that's all them at soccer games?
Heck
If we're
yeah.
done by 11 in the morning or noon?
But what if you're not?
What if we're not?
well, at some point,
See,
you're
that
gonna
was
wanna
like
do
the
that.
other
because
At some
that-
point,
That
you're
was like
gonna
if you had a
want.
Let's get the
grill.
steamer.
You could do the.
Well, we can bring that.
I
Right
say
on that
no,
grill.
I still say no.
That's portable, we can
Yeah,
bring
let's get
that.
the hot dog
I
steamer.
will
She's
tell you-
always voted against the hot dog steamer.
My father-in-law would eat them every time, just because.
Yeah,
they have
my
a hot
dad
dog
would too.
steamer.
Every rec meeting last year,
Every
he
single-
asked for a hot dog
Okay,
steamer.
so
Then
concession stand, we
$300.
have $1,430 to spend on a refrigerator, a coffee maker, a microwave, an indoor griddle, and a hot dog steamer.
Yeah.
Is everyone happy with that?
Yeah, I don't think we need to spend that much more, that much for.
It won't be $1,000.
Well, I'm saying, that was our total, these are the
Right.
things we've agreed on so far.
Start with.
So
Can
far.
anyone think of anything else that we need to have for the concession
What kind of
stand?
coffee maker are we talking about? Are we talking about a fill up the whole
We want one of
bunch?
the big
Or are we
ones.
talking about
That makes a couple
individual
gallons, right?
pots?
That's what I was
Those great
thinking.
big
No?
ones that
Yes.
make those carafes like they have down at the Trading Post and stuff like that, I think, I'm not sure, but
Well,
I
no.
think those run.
Yeah, thousands.
When do
Thousand.
when do we have to like? have
Even a
the
regular
numbers?
bun
But
coffee
what
maker
about
is
something-
$100, like my
But what
mother
about
has.
something like a Keurig that you're going, that has the pots that you're gonna make individual coffee?
The only thing that is those little Keurigs, man, add up.
The pods are expensive.
The pods are
And
expensive.
I have one in my my garage, I mean, my shed, we can use.
How
can't-
long so do you use a Keurig every day?
I have a, no, I don't use a Keurig.
I had a Keurig that I used every day for a year and had to get a new one and used it every day for a year and had to get a new one.
That's right.
And used it every day for a
Ours
year.
Can't get the
and bought
stainless
it.
coffee pots that you make the coffee
I
in?
think
but
that
it's
we should just
$10.
get like
I
a
don't think-
$40 coffee maker at Walmart, you know?
See what
A pot coffee
A regular
maker,
pot
not a
coffee
big
maker.
elaborate.
Can I look into one of the bigger ones and send you the price of it?
Well, they
if I
used to
can
have
find it
ones that you
reasonable?
could-
Can do
Yeah.
that, yeah.
I'm just saying, I would just like to, I mean, I could check out Amazon, I can check out many different
Yeah.
places. I'm the bargain queen. So if
Yeah.
I can find something that, I mean, is within that $100 range, I just feel like it's gonna be a little bit more efficient versus
Okay.
the pods or anything like that. Because like you said, I mean, unless you
Those
can
are
get those
expensive.
pods, I mean, Job Lot has like the huge boxes of them, but I mean, I don't know, you get
You
what
should be able to
pay
get
for.
stainless,
Yeah.
they used to have stainless coffee pots that you make the
Yeah, look into it.
inside it, and then the bottom you had the thing and it
End up
made,
throwing it away if no one drinks coffee. So then you're making a whole pot of coffee and then you're throwing it away and you're losing money on that whole
well,
pot of
welcome to the
coffee.
restaurant
I
business.
think,
But it's cheaper the ground
mean-
coffee versus the cups.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
Well,
get.
not if you use the throwaway cups, but that's just a point. But versus a big, huge stainless steel pot that makes
think-
100 cups of coffee.
I don't think we'd ever make more than 10 cups of coffee to
Right.
start out. until we
Right.
know what we're
Probably
doing.
only takes 5 or 6 minutes to make each pot, I suppose.
So, okay, it seems
It only
like we're
takes a
pretty
few
divided on the
minutes.
coffee maker. So
don't know.
let's take a vote.
All right.
Let's have a motion on the coffee maker.
I make a motion to let Raquel find us a coffee maker for up to $50.
Does anyone
one or a
second
small
that?
Whatever, that's your limit. I don't care what it is, but we're not going over $50.
Does
Get a
anyone
Mr. Coffee at
second?
Walmart.
I was gonna say to that,
You can get a $10 one that usually works better than.
They're slow, they're slow.
So,
They are slow.
So does anyone second that motion?
Nobody seconds my motion, okay?
Raquel find a coffee maker for up to $50.
You're not gonna second it? Thank you.
So you second it. Okay, all those in favor?
Raise your hand.
Welcome to the meeting.
Raise your
You gotta
hand,
vote.
no, we can't work that way. No, it doesn't work that way.
None opposed, so that motion passes.
Okay.
So you have $50 to find the best coffee maker you can
Let's make
find.
sure I can have-
So, moving forward, concession stand, can we close this topic?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
please.
I
So
wanna
what
go
we
with you to
do,
look at some,
Boy, we got
fridges and
hung
stuff
up
when
on
you
the hot
go.
dog steamer for longer than the
Okay,
more
so
than the truck.
concession stand,
micro and
done.
hot dog, we
maybe
might
we
be
can
able to
go
get
Saturday
it.
morning or
Moving
something,
on
look.
from concession stand, sponsors.
Just so we know, though, before we move on, so we find what we're gonna buy, and then we give it to Lori, and she orders it for us.
Okay.
As the treasurer.
Yep.
Okay, so sponsors.
Okay.
Whose topic is that?
Lori's.
It's mine?
You're the one that put it on the agenda, on the Facebook post. You said ordering equipment and uniform and sponsors.
Oh, yeah, okay, so what are we doing with sponsors was my question. So, I mean, baseball turned into,
It actually turned out pretty nice,
Well-
though, at the end of the day.
yeah, well,
And then-
so, but we haven't discussed sponsors,
What we
so.
need to do is, right now, we need to decide, are we using sponsors for all
Right.
sports moving forward or not? Then we can discuss how that works. So can somebody make a motion
I make a motion to try to use sponsors.
I second
for
that
all
motion.
sports?
All sports.
It's gonna go all or nothing, it's the only way it's gonna work.
I feel like it's a good, I mean, it's a good opportunity for local businesses, not saying that we always get it, but.
Yeah, but we need to, we need to figure out a way other than shirts, because we're going to buy uniforms, what we're gonna do.
The motion
The motion is to,
use sponsors for all sports.
Yes.
Does anyone second that motion? You second the motion?
I do.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed?
I have
Okay.
no feelings
So
on it.
that motion passes. Now let's discuss how we are going to procure
yes.
and display our sponsors.
Okay, we did
Well-
talk about flag banners.
First
We
of
talked
all,
about
let's
from the
figure
field.
out how we're gonna get sponsors.
So that, I think, that is something that somebody could head up, should head up. It didn't work very well splitting it amongst the committee the last time. So I think just like the soccer commissioner, there could be someone in charge of sponsors.
That's, I agree too, but I think that we need to make it very specific as to what the sponsor is.
Correct.
Are
So baby
getting-
steps, we're gonna put somebody in charge of that. Next, how are we going to display their sponsorship?
I think one of the things that I saw when we were looking last year for baseball was Vistaprint has these huge banners that we could hang from the fence on the backstop. Thank you to our sponsors, list all the business names, the whole banner. I mean, it's a big banner, and I think it was right around $100 for the banner with everybody's names on it, and
So you
it's like
mean
vinyl.
One banner with all of their names.
Yeah.
The Acton Recreation Department thanks our sponsors.
That's great, except it's not gonna work for basketball.
Well, that's right, unless we're able to hang it up at the school, which I don't know if we'd be able to.
Is that something we could potentially hang from the table that we use for our
Concessions.
concession stand?
If
The
it's a
front.
huge
Like,
banner.
if you
Put
Down the
it,
front.
if you put your table for the concessions right on the edge of the
Stage.
And then you can
Which is
hang
where it should have
across
been.
the front.
Or you have another opportunity
That's
for the
something that you're gonna have
table that
to
you're on the
hang up, someone's
scoreboard.
gonna have to hang up and take down every single game.
Right. Which
So
is,
that would have to
whoever's
be
setting up the concession stand, it would
something-
just be rolled up in with everything else you're lugging
Hanging on
in
the
and out.
fence at the baseball field, soccer field.
Yeah,
that'd be
baseball,
easy
soccer
enough.
is fine, but the school is the question.
Yeah.
As long as it's
So what I would suggest if we decided to do that would be to have something like this, 2 tables, and instead of going tall, going long.
Or half of long, it doesn't have to be huge.
Yeah, I mean, it could be-
It
Just big
just
enough to
needs
fit
to
the
be
names.
big enough to the names. I mean, you're talking
And then you
maybe
wouldn't, it wouldn't take much to, you know,
How big were the banners that you were looking at the last time, Carol?
I thought they were like,
They were huge.
no, they weren't huge. I think they were like, 6, I think the length was 6 feet. And I don't remember the width. If it was 3, I don't remember. It wasn't huge. It wasn't like,
If
you
you got
know.
like 4 or 5 sponsors or 6 sponsors for each sport, then
Yeah.
a 6.
You certainly could fit them on a 4x6 or a 3x6 mat.
Yeah,
4 would be too tall for a table, I suppose, to hang, but you could fit them on that easy enough.
On a what?
On 4x6 or 3x6 or whatever.
would be able to hang from a table.
Right, something you can hang from a table, ain't like you're gonna have 50 sponsors.
And the other thing is that if that's all we're offering them, then I think the price needs to come down a little. If all we're offering them, because, you know, before it was $275 and they got their name on a t-shirt, a hat, you know, like, and that, I mean, the kids are still wearing their hats and shirts around with the company's names
Yeah.
versus just getting your name on a banner that's gonna be hung up for the season.
Yeah, we
I
could
just
do
think
it
it should be like $100 or
specific.
$150. I don't think it should be $275.
So we're
Well,
not
if it was
gonna do the
$100
hats?
and it was a
We don't wanna
banner,
do
it
the hats or
wouldn't be
anything?
$100. You're not gonna get any
So-
sponsor money.
so
Well,
in trying to get this done, we've agreed we're gonna
don't
do
know how to do
sponsors
it.
for every sport.
But
Are
what
we
about-
agreeing that we're gonna do banners?
what about
Not necessarily.
sweatbands
No.
for soccer?
don't
Or
know.
basketball?
Because we have, yeah. I suggest we do hats for baseball, because we have to get the hats anyways.
Yeah.
Right.
Do hats for baseball, do something specific. Banners would be okay, but something specific that the kids could wear. I
That's-
don't know, soccer, do they wear?
That's what I'm like, you could wear the
Like,
sweatbands, you could do sweatbands for
We
either
talked about
basketball.
socks for soccer.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really hard to put the sponsor on a sock.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just thinking like, yeah, like you were saying sweatbands, you could have the little
could
like.
do the
We have to buy
sweatbands.
the hats every year for,
Yeah.
So my concern with sweatbands would be, what if they just don't wear it?
Yeah,
Right.
that's, yeah.
Yep.
yeah,
You know, how many kids are gonna be like, I'm not putting that on? I would've when I was a kid, I'd have
I
been
don't know how
like,
you do the other sports.
The other
Baseball
thing
easy.
is,
baseball, yeah,
don't know.
baseball's easy,
Not
the
sure
other
how you do
sports is
soccer.
tough.
I don't know.
You could even get like, what if you ordered like those like temporary tattoos? So, I mean, come on, how many of the kids would run around with their number, you
I
know?
think
How about on the, are we purchasing new balls every year? No,
for our sports,
no, they're just gonna be the ones that we already put in the
I mean, we'll
budget.
replace as need be, but we're not going to just buy all new every season, no.
I was gonna suggest the game ball maybe for basketball with the sponsors. No, you couldn't do,
Can't
unless
see
the
it anyway,
sponsors
so it
are
doesn't matter.
sponsoring one team, but if we're playing against other kids, other teams, we may not use the game ball. I don't know.
I don't know.
one of the other things that we could think about is water bottles, you know, that we could give the kids all a water bottle with the
That's
sponsor's name on it.
That's actually pretty cheap,
That actually might be,
because you can
Not too
easily.
bad.
Hats for baseball and a water bottle for the other sports.
I mean, you can get those
you could
big
get
water
the
bottles, you
super-
know,
Yeah,
those.
big easy bottles, and you could go to Copycats or anything like that. She's really
Yeah.
reasonable to do the decal themselves. We could order in mass,
Yeah.
like amounts, for the water bottles.
Yeah.
And do them, you know, just a standard color,
Mm-hmm.
and then just slap the decals on it for whatever company wanted
Yep.
to sponsor. So then each team could have that logo on their water bottle.
Yeah,
If you're gonna buy equipment for the field, why don't you just offer the local business a chance to buy the equipment, put their name on it?
That's a good idea.
Should I buy a park section, put my construction logo on the back?
That's a good idea. We do need,
But then it goes specifically price-wise per,
it wouldn't have to if we budgeted correctly. and we put it in the budget correctly, it would just be sponsors in general. This is the money we received from them.
Right.
Yeah,
then
there's
we could
another,
distribute it
there's another rec department that does that, like, a business can buy a bench for, whatever the cost of the bench just comes out of whatever it is.
And, our dugouts need.
Our dugouts
attention.
need
Maybe
much
that could be,
Goal
yeah,
nets.
we could do that, and
Goal nets.
then we could do benches, we could do the,
Yeah,
we could
do
put the
that down
signs
the line.
back up at the field too.
Yeah.
For our.
Right, but in the past, the sponsors were guaranteed something for their sponsorship
And that would be,
on, like, something that the kids were wearing, shirts, hats, whatnot. So,
I don't think every company
so
though, like,
I
automatically
am
assumes
of the
that.
school of thought that that's not, probably
it
not
doesn't
ever
mean
gonna
it has
happen
to be
again.
that way, but how do we
I
go
think,
about doing sponsors to get what we need out of the
that idea.
sponsorship money, but give them something in return?
right, I think we could do benches.
What if we also just offered, like, if we, like, I like Tom's idea about the equipment, and then what if, okay, like you said, okay, it's been in the past, like baseball and stuff like that with hats and things like that, but what if we ended up, I mean, I know it's not like something like super crazy or whatever, but what if we just did, how like you see at the restaurants or whatever, and they have all the stupid little things all around the mat, sometimes the paper ones, what if we just did like a small generic one of those, and like, what if it was like a yearly calendar or something like that had the schedules of the games or something for the sports, and we had it right at the concessions,
Yeah, that's a good idea, too.
something like that, I mean, it still would have everybody's on
How
it.
about everyone think about sponsorships, well, and then table it till next time and come up
The
with some
only-
ideas,
the only
except we're not gonna
problem-
have anything for soccer. Unless we can just, I mean, we could do something basic for soccer, like the water bottles for soccer, and then table it for future discussion ongoing. I think that's what we should.
I think maybe we do the banner and the water bottles for soccer, and then I like Tom's idea, and I've seen it somewhere, and I don't know where. I'm gonna look for it, though, where you can buy benches, because we do need seating at our field, so that would kind of go along with that. And then we can also look at what we want to do to the dugouts, and, maybe we could figure out a way to do that, too.
Yeah, we
'cause
don't
those
have to make a
dugouts are-
decision on
We don't have to
everything
make a
tonight.
decision on that, but I think just for soccer, if you guys want to go with banners and water bottles with a sponsorship of $200 or something like that.
Per team? Well, you're saying the banners are $100, and
But
then
that's
you're talking
all, I mean, you'll put all your sponsors on one banner.
on one banner. Okay, I thought you meant per banner.
No, I meant all the sponsors on one
All
banner.
right. I thought you meant a banner per
No.
person, because that's what we talked about in the past.
That is what we talked
Who's
about
gonna
in the
get it
past.
there?
Right, that's what I was saying, we're gonna have 6 banners, and someone's
no.
gonna have to put that up every single time. I'm like,
No.
that's crazy.
So,
All right.
was that a motion?
Yeah, to
Yeah.
make a motion to offer sponsorships to local businesses for soccer for, we'll do a banner and water bottles.
One banner.
One banner with all the sponsors listed and water bottles with the sponsor's name on them. But I think that the price shouldn't be $275. I think it should be $200.
$200 is
We don't get
plenty.
any sponsors,
Okay,
we don't
so
have to worry
And
about it.
does anybody second that?
I second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
That's for soccer, yes.
Those opposed?
I'll work on the letter for that and the forms and stuff.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So we will, should we just continue putting sponsors
I am
on
going
the
to,
agenda
yep.
until we come up with
Yes.
our
Yep.
full- Okay.
Yeah, because we can do a million things for sponsors. We can do that for this sport and then figure out
The only
something
tough
else
one
for
ends
the
up
next
being
sport and see
basketball.
how it works.
Right.
Well, but if there's one, I
need
thought
our
they
own
meant
gym.
like a banner per person. I'm
We're
like,
out.
this is insane.
The rec field's easier, you can label dugouts, you can do.
Yeah. Well, and they used to have the big metal signs that are all in the
equipment check.
the equipment shed, that they got that and that went up there, and, but it stayed for
Right.
indefinitely, or, and
Yeah.
no one really knows, so.
Okay, so moving on, the next topic is ordering equipment and uniforms.
Okay, so, there's a couple of things. First, originally, we were gonna replace all the soccer uniforms this year. What we budgeted, it is, not gonna happen, because I was quite disappointed. I'm looking for soccer, sorry. I don't think, let's that I can get 4 teams worth of uniforms for $750. I don't think I can.
Can't imagine it.
So what I've done halfway, and I need to finish it, is really looking at what we have for shirts. I know we had one team that had decent shirts last year. I just can't remember which ones they are. So I've got to go through and look and find those. So not everybody's gonna get new uniforms this year. It's just,
And I
I think we'll do
haven't
half this year, half next year, depending what we have, what sizes are good. You know, I know that, Molly's team last year, did not have enough navy blue shirts, because we split that grade into 2, and we did 2 different shades, and I remember all the kids on Molly's team had like skin-tight shirts, they didn't fit, and it was horrible. But, I know that the little kids, like the pre-K kindergarten kids, had nice uniforms, and even some of the smaller, like maybe the first and second.
So are we still talking just shirts, or are we still talking?
Well, it'd be
shirts
the
and
shirts and shorts, the set with the shirt and the shorts, it's almost the same price as the shirt alone. Like, the shorts are only like an extra $1 or something like that, like, if you buy them as a package deal.
For the little kids, we do not have enough if we're having one team.
Oh, okay, you've got your inventory. Good.
For 14, 1 to 2, I mean, we don't have enough of anything to have if we're having one team.
If we're only having one team, so we don't have one team worth of jerseys.
Hold on, not for pre-K, kindergarten, not for first grade, second grade, 3rd to 4th, I don't think we even have 3rd to 4th.
Counted all that stuff,
Yeah, no.
so.
So the third and fourth.
Orange shirts, there's 18, which are the bigger kids, so they would,
So is that 3rd, 4th, or 5th?
Fourth, it's a lot of 10, 12, 14.
3rd and 4th, there's 11 kids.
It's in the car.
Oh, dark green, hold on. Hold on, I'm wrong. Yeah, 18 shirts on the orange ones. Those are the
The
only
only
ones
other thing I
that-
could say is,
There's 9
if we
yellows,
had
which were
priced nets for
terrible.
$442 that we're probably not gonna buy, is if we move that into the uniforms and just get the whole new uniforms, if it's in that bad of a way. I mean, because we're not, I don't think we need those nets. We just bought a
Used all
net
the nets
last year.
I don't remember
There
having
weren't
a
any
problem
nets
with
that
nets
were
as
in
far
really
as,
rough shape.
Nets, or are you talking just the nets themselves?
The
or are you
nets
talking
themselves,
the
not the
actual
gold,
structure?
not the gold, the net that goes in
I
there.
think we needed,
I don't remember.
There was
but
one that had a little rip in it, but I don't think it's worth replacing it for $450 right now.
We can
I'd rather put.
put it back together with something, I mean.
Yeah. I got a
I
whole
don't
bag of
remember-
zip ties.
I don't remember
in
them
the
being all
closet.
ripped, I just don't remember that
Like
being an issue,
500
but
pack of zip
I
ties.
wasn't at that, I know one meeting I wasn't.
So maybe I will move forward and try to find what I can do,
Have
the
enough
best I
for
can do.
one team to have,
Well, tomorrow if we can go up there, we're gonna see,
right, but we have to make a motion tonight.
If the,
well, as far as allocating money from nets to uniforms,
I mean, at the end of
That
the
would-
day, we have $2,800 for soccer, you know, at
I
the
got a
end of the
feeling we
day.
must be able to do something with nets, but we can't put kids out there without
Two
uniforms.
bigger kids, there's 9 and 18. This one, these are the dark green versus the light green, so this is the most we have out of all. Those are the bigger kids. So it was fine and when we had,
9 and 18.
yeah,
There's essentially, I mean, one.
Yeah.
right, there's one team right now. I mean, if we don't get one more person on the next group, the older group, then we have 9 shirts, but that's it.
Okay.
And the little kids, we got away with it because we divided them up into 2 teams.
So does somebody want to
They're a
make a
little more
motion
expensive, but they're
to,
local.
Carol, does somebody want to make a motion to move that money from the nets
Yeah.
up to the uniforms?
Yeah, I make a motion to move that $442 from the nets to add it to the money for the uniforms.
Does anybody second that?
I second that with, I don't know if you can put this in there, that if by chance we need the nets and we get sponsor money, we could use that towards the nets.
Yep.
Sponsored money towards the nets, we just gotta go, I don't remember the nets being in that rough a shape, but we'll have to go.
Just
Okay,
in
so
God forbid
that's-
they are.
That's the motion on the table is to move the $442 for the nets up to the uniforms, with the exception that if we need new nets, we take money out of our sponsorship
Yeah, we've gotta
intake.
do the uniforms, we can't
Yes.
send them out there with.
We're playing other towns. It's not like
No,
we're just playing against each other.
So all those
We'll
in
never hear,
favor?
that will never,
Opposed? Okay.
Well, then we could say if we don't have enough, if we're not playing in other towns in pre-K and kindergarten, that would be the one that we would maybe skimp on and use what we have.
Okay.
I know when you,
So
I know.
are we talking about all sports right now, equipment and uniforms?
Well,
Or are
the
we
only
talking
other
about
thing I
just
wanted to
soccer?
talk about is the old uniforms. I need a vote from this committee to discard them.
So that's a motion.
6 totes of junk.
well, the stuff we
Big
inventoried
totes.
last fall.
Yes, of junk.
Yes.
So you move to discard
I make
the
a
old
motion to
uniforms?
discard the old basketball, soccer, and baseball uniforms and keep the cheerleading. in
I
case-
think I would make a motion to
We separated
do
it.
it
Hold on,
by
wait.
sport.
So hold on a second.
Yeah, we
We have a motion on the table to discard all the old uniforms except for the cheerleading uniforms. Does anyone second that motion?
No. Not at this point.
So with no seconds, our
Okay.
motion dies.
All right, before we move on, there are no good basketball uniforms at all. None of those shirts are any good.
no, they're disgusting.
But we used them.
We used them, but
I
they're
know,
disgusting.
but if we don't have the money,
We do. We
The
budgeted
budget's
for new
done,
ones.
we have that money.
I'd say we did all
have
this
the money for
already.
the uniforms,
How much was
100%.
budgeted?
That's why our budget went up this year, because we
Well, I
budgeted for all new
I
uniforms.
understand that, but now we're taking money from someplace else to pay for the uniforms that we
Soccer.
thought we were gonna do for
We thought that we
soccer,
didn't
so-
need all new soccer.
That's just
For
for soccer,
basketball, I budgeted $1,100.
Soccer.
And then for baseball,
Hold on, wait. Let's cut out our side conversations. It's really hard for me to focus on what everybody's saying. I can only imagine about people at home.
so basketball, $1,100 was budgeted for uniforms, and then another $108 for hats and socks. I don't quite know why that's there. I think that was a mistake, because you don't buy hats and socks. And then baseball, we budgeted $1,800 for uniforms and $600 for hats and socks. So,
400 and something for soccer.
yeah, I don't know why. It was $750 is what we budgeted
As
for
long as we have
soccer.
the money in the budget, I just don't wanna throw everything away and then find out we don't have the money in the budget.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say per sport and
Yeah.
Okay.
till we get the stuff,
So
but.
at this point, I need a new motion.
So because we have the money in the budget, do you want to throw those 3 sports away? Okay, so I'll make that motion again,
The motion is,
to discard of the old soccer, basketball, and baseball uniforms.
anyone second the motion? All those in favor?
That's gonna make a world of
Sorry
difference
for
in
the
our
confusion,
closet.
that's all.
Sorry, I just, when you said we didn't have enough money for soccer,
No,
that's.
I don't know
the
what
heck out of me.
happened with
Let's throw 'em
soccer
away and then
uniforms, why
find
there was
out.
so little money put for uniforms for soccer.
Yeah, I don't know, so.
No, we all
like,
did it
that doesn't
together,
make
I don't know.
sense.
So are we discussing all the equipment?
No, that's, I just wanted to.
Just soccer?
The only thing I wanted to talk about the other uniforms was just to make room in that.
So those-
And then and the rest of it, just so that everybody knows, like, I took everything out of that closet, my car is completely full, that needs to go up to that field, whether it be the Slow Children sign, whether it be all the paper products for the concession stand, no, all that stuff's in my car to go up there tomorrow, just so you all know.
So our last topic is, anyone have anything else? And I do have something else.
I do.
I do too.
I went up to the field and I changed out all the locks like we voted on. I have keys for the officers. The only lock I didn't change out was to the concession stand because I didn't have a key to that. I have the lock, I have the, the hardware that needs to be put in, I just need the key. I didn't change out the lock to the gate that goes out to the field where they bring the mowers and stuff out because the guy who does that has the key to that. And I figure we're still in the process of potentially getting quotes for the field maintenance. So just deal with that in another time. I did send an email to Kim Stacy about keys to that gym and the storage room in the gym that we need more. I haven't heard back. I was gonna try and catch up with her tonight, but I'll keep after that, and I will have key rings and keys for our officers, hopefully, at the next meeting. And I also want to talk about that closet down there. Carol and I went up, yep, at the gym. Carol and I went up the other night, because we were told there was an overflow of equipment, and there was quite a lot of equipment that was brought and dropped there and left in a bit of a mess. And the storage room was quite a mess, not the way it was left. So that's all been rearranged, and it's all cleaned up and tidied up, and it's good, and I want to make sure that no matter who goes in there, it stays that way. So I think the three of us are gonna be the ones with keys. I think we can be good about keeping it nice and neat so we don't, infringe on the gym again. And then we also talked about potentially, asking if we could reorganize that closet.
Yeah.
The space that we have available to us, if it could be shifted a little, it would be more beneficial to us. So I'm gonna reach out to Kim about that as well.
What about getting some sort of like shelving, like industrial type shelving that we can like put the,
A lot of our equipment is very large.
yes, but the big, that's what I'm saying by the big industrial, big metal type shelving that you can put, floor to ceiling, and you can put the baseball bags on those, you're talking ones that like a tote would fit in.
Just worry.
They're not, it would
We
be
have
a
to make sure
lot.
that they can still get in and out of.
Right, but up against
For
that
many
back,
reasons.
either one of the walls, we probably could try to look at pricing to see if we could maybe swing that. I think that would be wonderful. I know in a job that I had that we had to keep all, medical files, we had them in the big boxes, and it was a world of difference with
Yeah,
those type of shelves.
just so much
They're
more
not
organized.
crazy money, but they're,
First thing is I have to see if we can.
yeah, if we can even do that.
We need to get Kim down there to look at that closet and
Yeah.
see what we're dealing with down
Yeah.
there. And then hopefully she will,
But I don't-
give us some,
And I don't think it's gonna
Support on
happen with.
shifting it around.
Yeah, because we're just getting more and more equipment and we have no place to put it.
Yeah.
But I don't think what's gonna happen from this point forward, what happened this past month is gonna happen again,
right.
so.
So that's my anything else. Does anyone else have anything
Yep,
else?
I do. Sue Reed reached out to us on our Facebook page. She's looking to possibly do like some fundraising, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. She has a business where she letters things, right? What is
She does printing. She prints on water bottles, hats, shirts, sweatshirts, anything you could want printing done on, she does that. And she reached out to us on the Facebook page, and just, I think she is hoping that we would give her the opportunity to maybe make our uniforms. I kind of felt like that was the direction that message went in.
It wasn't real clear.
So,
Make our uniforms?
well, I think what it is she would purchase the shirts, put whatever it is we want on the shirt.
I think it's more like like what we do when we use t-shirts with McKinney.
Yeah.
But the thing that I thought, instead of having her do that, was to talk to her about doing a fundraiser and selling some gear through, whether it be through an order form, or whether it be through the concession stand, having, some shirts, sweatshirts, water bottles, that type of
Who is
stuff.
Sue Reed?
Her grandkids play for us.
Well, if we're talking about possibly using the water bottles, I mean, we could get a price from her
Yeah.
to see what she wants to, put them on, get a couple of prices.
Yeah.
I mean, around, and if she's got a competitive price, then I say go for it, but.
Yeah. And then the other thing is for, one of our goals was to try to do a fundraiser every sport. The hit-a-thon was huge. I mean, we did really well with that.
If I remember off the top of my head, which I may be wrong, but I think we were in the ballpark of $1,600 we brought in.
Did we?
That hit-a-thon. Yeah, that was huge.
How much of that did we end up getting, though?
Participation in it either, so.
Yeah, there were a
it
couple
went
teams
really
that
well.
barely did it.
There were no sponsors for the hit-a-thon, it was.
What
all
I wanted
money.
to just kind of ask is, what do you think about for soccer, for a fundraiser? I mean.
Kickathon?
A what?
A kickathon.
A kickathon? Like goal kicks?
A goal kick thing, yeah.
So how do you do that?
So what if you had, like, well, don't you have like one person, like a goalie in the thing, and then you get 5 balls up to the line, right? And if you can get however many passed,
Okay.
that would be a
Is it
kickathon.
like the same goalie every, I don't know how
Yep,
this
yep,
works.
well, like for each team, so like you technically, you probably, well, you wouldn't want it, would you want the same team's goalie or no? I can't remember how we used to do it, but it doesn't really matter, like age group appropriate, you know what I mean? So like the oldest kids, they'd pick one of their goalies, or like the next group down type of thing, and then they would go into the goalie, and that person would be the goalie for whoever, all the participants, and then if that goalie ended up being a participant too, then they would just switch out for the last one for that person. But you
Okay.
get 5 balls.
So then your sponsors would sponsor per goal scored or a flat rate?
So they could do a flat rate, or they could do per kick, like per goal. So if you get 5 balls and you only get 2 goals in,
Right.
they could pay per, yeah.
Right,
2
okay.
goals.
All right, what do you guys think about that?
Hold on, I'm just
I think,
looking
I
at
mean, I think
something.
it'd be, I mean,
I think,
I think we
yeah.
would change, for the younger kids, obviously, I think that we should maybe change the line, you know, obviously, because usually for the older kids, it's like, what is it, not half court,
Is it the goal box?
Yeah, yeah, you know, and
For the little kids. the goal
right,
box is
exactly,
smaller.
so I mean, you know, but I think that might be, I mean,
Okay.
that would be, what do you think? Huh?
Okay.
I think so.
Yep.
think we
That was
tried.
all I had.
Anybody have anything else?
I didn't.
You do? What?
Yep, well, I just had a question. It was
Yeah.
kind of just an idea when I know that we're it's only August and everything else, but I was just kind of thinking about fall, winter coming up. And my idea was, well, my question was, is have we ever put it out to the community in a form of like, I guess you could call it like a survey of like multiple choice ideas of maybe what the community would like to see or an event happen, you know what I mean, for our fall type of thing, you know what I mean, or like the winter. Like, there's been a lot of talk before, and our school doesn't do it, and I'm tired of having to have like my kids do it in a different town, like a father-daughter, mother-son dance, okay?
Talked ad
And-
nauseam about taking over the father-daughter dance.
Right.
And I think we're pretty well split down the middle on that.
It's just, you know, I mean, it's just like,
We were, that was a different committee.
it was,
I've
I
never
just.
had a conversation about
I
it.
just
That
feel
was
like, you know, we
before
could
us.
do it at the
Before
school,
us.
you know what I mean? I could get
only
the
been
school
on.
gymnasium, you know what I mean? There's a lot of different things that we could do. I could even talk to, you know, Mr. Corey about maybe audio. So I mean, the funding wouldn't have to be huge for it, but I mean, if we offered the, you know, the community like 3 different choices, what would be your top pick that you would like to see happen this winter? And then have a certain date to come back. And then, you know, kind of, because I know we have the sports and everything, but I mean, to get kind of the community to kind of do something out of an activity or an event besides just a sport. I mean, you don't have every kid that wants to do sports. But I mean, there's other ways that I feel like we could get, the school's kind of limited on what we can, you know, what we offer, you know, with different things. But as a rec and the community, I feel we have a lot of homeschooled kids in the community. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there just because I would like to see, you know, some things, I would love to see a couple things happen.
I personally think a survey, I don't know how well that would go, because let's be honest and look at the
I
trouble
know.
we have getting our
I know.
kids signed up for our sports.
Well, what about
And
an
these are
online
things
thing?
that they
We could
want
do an
to do.
online.
Well, what
We
about
could
if you
do a
guys did a
Survey
Facebook
Monkey.
thing? I mean, I know you guys, I mean, have the Facebook page, I
Yeah.
mean, what if
We absolutely could post a poll.
Sure.
we could post a poll on there? I mean, and like I said, it has to be
So
only.
what are the 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever things that we're gonna offer? We need to come up with those.
We've
before I
also
put a
talked
survey
about
out.
trying to get our sports under control and get everything going on the sports before we start adding all kinds of extra stuff too,
Right, but
because
we also have talked a lot about having a lot of downtime.
Well, yeah, one of the
Like
things
this
we've talked
summer,
about is we didn't offer anything this summer. And then when basketball, the way we ran our seasons last year, basketball got over at the winter break.
Right.
And then there wasn't anything until baseball, you know,
Right.
so those are 2 huge
Yeah.
gaps that.
Yeah.
We could offer like.
I don't see why we can't do our basketball program longer than we did it.
I need to, when we get
something.
closer, that is something
Started
like,
later.
last year, the group we played, like, how does Wakefield run theirs? How does Milton, Farmington run theirs? How does Lebanon run theirs? Like, kind of explore to see if anybody does the longer season, because our season was extremely short,
Yeah, it was.
the way that we did it with Shapley and Limerick and Alfred.
So if we want to move forward with the survey, let's come up with, I don't know, what do you want to give people? Three things to choose from? Yeah. So let's look at winter and let's come up with 3 things that we as a
One of the
committee
other
would be
things
willing
that
to
they
run.
used to offer when Jana and Ken were doing it was the tubing at King
Tubing.
Pine.
And
Remember, they used to do the tubing, yeah, they used to offer tubing at King Pine.
I think that's definitely
It
what we
was
should do.
very popular.
I
And
do
it was
want,
at a
I do want to
discounted
see,
rate,
I do
and-
want to see the dance on the pole.
We
Yeah,
had
I got it right
39
there.
people that did Funtown.
That's awesome.
That was last minute,
And not subsidize the price.
not subsidized. So we don't have it in our budget to subsidize for tubing, but I think we should definitely get the group rate. I mean, Funtown is only 25 people to get the group rate.
Yeah. Right.
So I don't know what the tubing is. I mean, I can look into that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't even have to do a poll for that. We can
Well, and
just,
that's why I'm almost wondering if we just.
Okay.
we don't
But
even
is-
have
But
to.
is that something that if we did do it, we would have to have at least one committee member there? Where we're on.
Yeah, because the one
If as
committee
long as
member
it's not,
has
as long
to.
as it's not on February break, then
Right.
we would go. It's just, we're gonna be
Yeah,
gone
because the
February
one
break this
person,
year.
the way it usually works with those is the one person purchases the tickets and then that person distributes them.
Yep.
So they set up a booth at, say, Funtown, in that, Shapley set up the booth, they get the tickets,
Yeah.
they actually put them on the people.
So let's say worst case scenario, if we're saying we want to do this without even taking the poll, let's say worst case scenario, they offer us Wednesday of February vacation. Who's willing to go up there for the day at King Pine?
Can't do anything on that one. We'll be in Caribbean.
I wish that we could do it on a weekend. I really.
I don't see
Yeah,
why
but
we
it's not-
can't
but
do
I'm
it on a
saying, what if it's
They
not an
never,
option?
yeah, they
I don't
usually-
know who picks for
I imagine
Funtown.
Funtown does.
They do groups on the weekends, though.
Rates through
I
company.
don't know, it's always
Okay.
been during the week, that's why I wonder
So
if
what
it
if
was
I look
Funtown.
into it and we'll find out for next time? For
Yeah.
the next.
So then let's pick 3 other topics.
Yep.
Or choices.
That's just one
That we
phone
could
call
put
to
on
King
there.
Yeah.
Pine.
The daddy-daughter dance?
Yeah, we got
I
that.
think daddy, daughter, mother, son dance, you know, that way we're not,
I think, is that one combined dance?
yeah.
Okay,
I would do it combined, just because, I mean,
so,
I mean,
do you remember any of the daddy-daughter dances at the school?
no, I've never was here.
Huge turnout. Like, I don't know that we would be able to do it
I don't think we'd do it combined.
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't be able to
Too
do the
many
mother
people.
son.
They stop.
The PTG did it, and the woman that headed it up left the PTG.
Yep. And now we, the PTG.
Yeah, it was huge. They had like a grand march.
Yeah. That'd be
You
so
know,
awesome.
it was
like a mini
phenomenal, and we're
But
talking
anyway,
like
so
a
let's
lot of
move
people.
forward.
When
So
did they do
it's-
that?
I was gonna say, when was this? Because we've been
Well,
around a
Addie's
while.
in 7th grade, and she was in like kindergarten, 1st grade.
Oh, it must have been when our
Kindergarten,
kids
first
are.
grade, Second
Yeah,
grade,
no,
Blake was
Addie's in
born for the
seventh- yeah,
last one.
seventh
Oh,
grade.
yeah. Anyway, moving forward.
Okay, daddy-daughter dance.
Yep.
Tubing, I guess, was separate. We're not
Yeah,
putting it on the
we won't put
choice
that on there.
ball.
So we've got the daddy-daughter dance.
Grade by
What's
then or
another one
something.
for winter time that we could do? We had talked about a winter carnival.
Carnival. We talked about doing something up at the rec field with like, you know, snow sculptures and
We could do-
sledding and getting one of the guys to make us a big snow pile to sled
Yep.
down.
We
and-
could do, yeah, we could do lots of different contests with it too. You could do, like
Yeah.
you said, the snow sculptures. You could do like even the snow painting, you know, with like
Yeah.
all the different things.
Yeah.
So we'll put a winter carnival
winter-
on there. Let's
yeah.
come up with one more.
Find the volunteers for all the stuff.
Right.
What if we did like a indoor luau?
We talked about that.
That is fun.
Well, because I mean, everybody's gonna have the winter blues and it's cold and it's
another thing
yucky,
that we can talk
you know? And it's like, why, yeah, like we could do like a limbo contest. We could do like the best like luau like outfit. I mean, there's so many little things
Yeah,
that we
there
could
are.
do. Yeah. Let's do that on the
So
poll.
we'll put those three out there
We
on
need-
Survey Monkey. Carol, will you put
Yep.
that survey up for us?
Yep, yep.
Thank you.
And then we need to all try and get it out there to people. to
Oh,
get
yeah.
We gotta have people to do it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the problem with
Oh,
so many
right
things,
here.
we don't get.
Right
well, you-
here.
Yeah, she's
New
all
blood.
for it.
One person can't do everything.
No.
We've already been there, done that.
So,
So.
it's so hard to
we're
get
gonna
people
put
to
that-
volunteer.
Yeah, I'll put a poll up.
When can we expect to see the poll?
If
By
you just
the
want a
end of next
Facebook
week?
poll, I could get it out by the end of this week. If you want a Survey Monkey poll, by the end of the weekend. Because I gotta learn how to do that. I've
I've done
participated in them.
Survey Monkeys before.
Yeah,
I can
so-
help with that.
I'm sure it's pretty
So
easy.
by the end of the weekend,
Yeah, we'll get the
by
poll out.
Monday, we'll have the poll out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it'll be on the page.
It'll be on the page. I'm leaning towards Survey Monkey so that I can email the link and like you could forward it to the people you know and.
And you can still
I
post
can
it.
post it on Facebook
Perfect.
as well, but
Okay.
you
Yeah.
don't have to be on Facebook to vote.
Awesome.
Okay, so, anything else?
Yeah, Dan from DNM Enterprise is supposed to be giving me a quote
Okay.
for the field maintenance. Did you ever get anything from your dad?
It literally just gives the acreage, the exact same that John did.
thing, and same
Yeah,
thing
and
as-
just what I would tell him
your name down
is, this is what we have, this is the size of the field. If he needs anything more specific than that, I'm willing to meet him up there so he can walk
Yeah, I
the
told
field
him I
and,
would meet
you
him
know,
up
measure
there
whatever it is
also.
he
Mike-
wants to
No, you
measure.
need to know what
think
Brian.
My concern is that the other guys already mowed up there since the new fiscal year.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I don't know how to handle that. Because we pay him twice a year.
So we could still get our quote.
Maybe start a
and then
new guy in
move
the spring.
forward.
But,
Yes.
So it's mowing,
What
you
kind
said
of lot?
and there's
fertilizer.
no way to find out exactly what this man does at
So-
this point, because, you know,
What
Dan's
we-
talking.
Exactly what he does is he does mowing and fertilizing as needed. And he will do other,
Other projects on request.
as requested.
But are the other projects as requested extra, or are they not extra?
It sounded as
It's
though they were extra.
Extra money?
You
I have
don't
no
need-
idea.
you don't
It's
need-
so vague, and I've
Right,
asked.
but how do we go forward with this, because,
Yes.
Yes,
You have to do the ditches and the pond, everything said yearly.
yeah.
Rather than your field maintenance contract.
That's
Require that as part of it.
where I'm hoping to go with that.
but if we're starting to look at other people,
So I would
we're
just tell
very
him-
vague on what we
Yeah,
want.
that's everybody
He
I
says,
tried to
what
get a
about
price."
lime, what about irrigating, you know, I mean, he's going on and on, I said, just
The price is
maybe,
gonna
So
significantly
at this
increase.
point, irrigation's not an option as of yet. We don't have
Right.
a water source yet. We need the field mowed in the summertime. I mean, I don't know how many times he mows it. Is it reasonable to say, every other week? Is it every week?
I've
he
got an
was thinking
idea.
every,
I've got an
every
idea.
10 days.
I've got an idea. Why don't one of us pick up the phone and call him and ask him what he does, instead of asking town hall what he does? Like I went the route of asking them for a copy of his proposal, and I forwarded the response I got to y'all, but maybe
It's
what
not
we need
much.
to do is just pick up the phone and call the guy and say, okay, we're trying to wrap our heads around exactly what you do on the field.
The other thing is Tom's right, we need to add in the
ditching.
ditch cleaning, the brush, whatever, that needs to be added in, and he'll likely need to give us a new proposal.
Yeah.
So it
Which
needs
is
to be
gonna be
added in.
significantly more.
Which is gonna, yeah.
It's a
So
lot
it
more
needs to be
work,
added
but
into the proposal that you're trying to get, and the one that we currently have will need a new one.
But by just saying we need the dishes cleaned, I mean, these,
you have to go up there.
if
and
you,
go over it.
I mean, you work for a construction company, if someone came to you and said, we need this, this, and this, how do you handle that? I mean, do
They're
you,
gonna come meet you at the
Earlier, you
field,
said that
right?
15 years ago when they designed that, there's already a scheduled proposal of how it's supposed to be maintained.
It's gotta be
So
somewhere.
a copy of that, size of square footage, and then you'd have to probably talk to whoever's in charge of the field, to make sure that that's how they want it done.
but is that something that you would get, is the size of the square footage, or
Well, we
would
would have to
we
give it
have to get
It's
that?
gotta be in the original plan and what was proposed to be done.
we don't
Originally,
have
that
any
has
of
never
that, do
gotten
we?
done.
Right.
So it's gotta be
So
at
that's-
town hall somewhere.
That's part of the problem.
We don't have
According to
anything.
the town hall, it's gone.
For the landscape, like when we set up contracts on the condos and stuff, they come out and actually measure the square footage on the acreage. And then there's a proposal of mowing every 30 days, breaking every 6 weeks, leaf
Yes.
blowing. It's an actual detail of what it's supposed to be.
So if we called you, you would say, yeah, let's meet up there and go over everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except he builds houses.
Well, right.
I know, but I'm saying, you know what I'm saying.
Well, right, I mean,
If you called somebody.
but this person's asking me for all the things, and what do you want done? What do you want, do you want this done? I said, well, we don't have that being done right now, but can you put it in as,
alternate.
an alternate, but
We're talking changing
I mean,
that
we're talking
completely.
a
So that
couple-
would have to be for the following season. We'd have to get
Would
it all
probably-
in detail, exactly what needs to be done to get the correct quote, and you're probably gonna
Especially
be
if
shocked.
this-
So
The initial cleanup of getting it back to where it's supposed to be is gonna be it's gonna be huge.
Right, and that's
So-
what we're gonna talk to Will about, is helping us get it
And
back
then
to
go
where it should
after your
be,
quotes
and then
from
moving
there.
forward.
so at this point, I probably shouldn't even bother having him, I mean, he was trying to get a quote done for today.
I think
So
it's
he can-
pointless.
So what I think we should do is to stay with Brian for the fall, because he
We don't
already
have to.
started.
We don't have a
you know?
choice.
And, then maybe we
We're
can
supposed to-
walk the property, like, we could set up a time for like, anybody that's interested in it, whether it be DNM or Brian
As
and
soon as we have what we,
Robin Ham and whoever else was interested in the field maintenance, come walk the property with us and,
as soon as
we
we
could-
know exactly
yeah.
what we wanna ask out of them, so.
Because we're supposed to get, I don't know if they don't know, we're supposed to get three, not
We're supposed to do our
necessarily-
best,
With effort
to get three prices.
If it's over a certain amount and under 5,000, if it's over 5,000.
It goes out to,
it has
officially
to
out
go
to bid.
out to bid.
So at this
Any-
point,
This point, it's
At
gonna
this
be a
point,
whole
what
nother
we're gonna
discussion.
do-
Committee
is-
member do it if they had a business?
I don't know the answer to that. I think it would be a conflict of interest.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Maybe if you abstained from voting,
Yep.
we'd have to
This-
ask.
At this
No, I'm
point,
just asking, that's all.
at this point, I think we stay put with what we have.
Yep.
We talk to Will, like we had already talked about, and see what it's gonna take to get it back up to where it should be. And then next year, or for the spring contract, whatever it ends up being, we can
Can we
move
change
forward.
it mid-term, I mean, mid?
Well, so he gets paid in 2 installments.
Okay.
So it's almost.
Fall and
like-
spring. So if we paid him for the fall, we don't have a contract. There is no contract.
Right.
It's just,
This is gonna have to be a whole nother set
Yeah.
of meetings, I mean, to get a handle on
yeah,
exactly,
exactly.
in my
Okay.
opinion
So
anyways.
that's where we're at with that.
All right.
Anything else?
Next meeting is Monday, September 9th at 6:15.
That work for everybody?
It's the second Monday like we agreed on.
Are we gonna hear back from you and everything in regards to sponsorship and
Yes.
the water bottle and all that idea
Yeah.
before then? Because of
Yes.
the fact of the up and coming season,
Oh,
like it's
yeah.
right around the corner?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it should be like within the week.
okay.
I
And
do most of my work on the weekends.
can it,
Took all the same notes.
we didn't really vote in for somebody to be in charge of sponsorship, so can, like, if I said to you, can I have like 3 copies of this paper, so can I just go out and try to get what I can?
Absolutely.
So I think that is one thing. Who's taking, Carol, did we take a vote on the sponsorships for soccer?
Yes.
Okay,
We
so that's
voted.
all set.
That's all set, and then I was gonna do the letter.
Okay.
And so she was asking when she can expect the letter, so that she can go.
And when do you
Who is in
expect to
charge of
get
doing
prices
sponsors?
for?
We didn't appoint anybody for
So since
that.
we need to move forward on that, who is interested in being in charge of sponsorships?
Is it for every sport, or can we do it per sport, or?
We can do it.
I think we can do it per sport.
I'll do it for soccer.
You'll do it for soccer? Okay.
There's one thing we forgot to mention, and I'm sorry, but those plaques are really beautiful,
Yeah, they are. They really
and I think we should continue to give those to the sponsors.
The only problem's gonna be if they're not sponsoring a team,
Oh, I thought they were going to, though.
but if they're getting a banner,
They're gonna get the banner, but then we talked about the water bottles.
The water bottles were
So
gonna have
whatever the team,
names, I mean,
that
the
team will have
sponsor's
their
name.
water bottles with
Okay.
that sponsored on it.
okay,
So they'd still
Oh, I thought
technically
we
have
were
a
just
team.
putting water bottles with everyone's names on it,
okay,
just like the banners, so.
okay.
Oh, I thought we were doing individual teaming on the water bottles. That was
I
my
did too.
understanding.
That was mine, too.
Either way, it doesn't matter. It'll probably cost less to have one name put on than 6.
A whole bunch of names.
So, okay, yeah.
Okay.
And I agree with the plaque. I think it's great.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
And they didn't cost.
I've only
us
given
anything.
one out and they loved it.
Those to the people? No.
I have them, yeah.
Okay.
So what we had talked about was writing up a nice little thank you letter and mailing them.
I'm mailing them
rather
with a
than
thank you card.
trying to
That's
get
awesome.
to-
I actually bought some thank you cards.
Oh, okay.
They're just like the simple, 6-pack of thank you cards.
Yeah,
you
okay.
know.
That's great.
I just wrote like, thank you for supporting our kids, Acton Rec or whatever.
Okay. Anything else?
I only have one other thing. Does anybody have any idea what town Ash Cove Construction is out of?
Oh,
Sanford or Springdale?
They were one of our sponsors and I don't know how to get an
It
address.
lives right on 13th Street, right?
Who is it?
So if I remember correctly, which I.
Scott McLeod?
May not 100%.
Oh, I don't know.
Googled his business name, his mailing address was in a P.O. box in Springville, maybe?
Okay, I just don't want to mail the plaque.
I'll
We'll
just
just
ask.
find out and let you know.
Could you find out for me a mailing
I can
address for
find
that?
out tomorrow and
Ash
call you.
Cove?
His brother lives down the street
I'll
from
just
us.
ask his brother, yeah, because where he lives doesn't mean he runs his business out of there, obviously,
Right.
so yeah.
I don't want to just mail the plaque, because it's, it's expensive to mail it, and I don't mind doing it, but, I don't want it to come back to me. I'd have to pay again.
I'll just ask him.
Yeah, ask him for a mailing address for his business.
Okay, so anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second it, anyone? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you.
I'll just call Scott and ask him